Help you get a man, money, and everything else you want in life. Listen close. You got to learn to become comfortable with rejection. Get in here. We're going to talk about it, okay? You got to learn to become comfortable with rejection. Don't ask why I'm wearing these glasses. I got these, I think in Thailand someplace for like $5. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. Like a year ago. Anyway, you need to become comfortable with rejection. So we're going to have to talk about rejection therapy. This is essentially an approach where you voluntarily put yourself in a position to be rejected so that you can build up your tolerance around being rejected. Because here's the thing, your fear of rejection is not truly a fear of rejection. It's a discomfort with rejection. And here's the thing, when you can recognize that it's not a fear or a phobia, it's something that you're uncomfortable with, then you can allow yourself to truly be able to put yourself in a position for you to become more comfortable with it. Now, how we become more comfortable with anything is through exposure. So you will expose yourself to opportunities for potential rejection, not that you want to be rejected, but so that you can experience what it feels like to be rejected, even when you're most afraid of it. And then over time, the more you experience that, the more you will feel comfortable with the idea that rejection doesn't hurt you, it doesn't kill you, and it does nothing to you, okay? Your fear of rejection is not truly a fear. It's simply a discomfort. So let's talk about this for a second, okay? I thought these glasses were cute, but I feel like y'all need to see my eyes. Don't you need to see my beautiful eyes? Okay, I think you need to see these beautiful eyes, okay? So anyway, listen to me when I say this, okay? You all want a man. Am I lying? You want a man. You want money. You want whatever it is you want. But the bottom line is this. You go out. Let's picture a night. You go out to a bar, a club, a restaurant. You're in a grocery store, wherever it may be. You see a beautiful man. I'm going to eat a piece of Hershey's chocolate while we're talking, okay? You see a beautiful man, right? You see a beautiful man. Hey, Melba. And you want to go talk to him, or you want him to come talk to you. But he looks over at you. What do? You look away. You see him just standing there waiting on you to come say something. What do? You convince yourself, oh, men need to come speak to me, or I should not have to go speak to him. Or you convince yourself, he's probably not even looking at me. He doesn't even want me. What do? You walk away. This is all a fear of rejection. For a lot of you all, you're masking your fear of rejection in femininity. I want to approach a man because he needs to approach me. Truth of the matter is, you want to approach a man not because you think he should approach you, but because you're afraid to approach him. It has nothing to do with femininity. You use cloaking in femininity. You try to put the responsibility on him. And I'm not here to argue femininity, masculinity, who needs to do what. What I'm here to say is this. The more you can become comfortable with rejection, the more you will open yourself to every opportunity in your life, business, financial, love, everything like that. I'm telling you that right now. Okay? The reality is this. You need to make it your intention and make it a point, at least one night out of every week, to put yourself in a situation where you're in an environment where you could be rejected. If you're looking for a man. Go out to that bar by yourself. Oh my God, MJ, I could never imagine doing that. I couldn't imagine doing that. Go do it. Go out to that event by yourself. And when you see a man there or a woman that you like, walk up to him and say hi. A compliment. Oh my God, hi, how are you? Your watch is beautiful. Oh my God, your tattoo, that's so beautiful. What is it? May they reject you? Maybe. Might they be interested? Maybe. But it's a win-win either way. Because if they're interested, hear me out right here, then you get what you wanted. But if they're not interested, oh well, does the rejection sting? Okay, sure. Are you going to die? Are you going to have a heart attack on the spot? No. You'll just move on to the next person. And here's the thing. You're in an environment where nobody knows you, so who cares? I think one of the best ways to do rejection therapy is to go into an environment. Hold on. I have to pause right here. Melba said here, she says, that's how I met my man. Melba, elaborate. I'm going to read how you elaborate. Elaborate, please. I think one of the most powerful ways to work through. And I call out Mel because they've been together for a long time. Her and her husband have been together for a very long time. And my thing is that one of the best ways, she says, I walked up to him. I love that. I love that. Okay? One of the best ways to be able to overcome your fear of rejection so you can go after the things you want is to go after what you want. But maybe put yourself in environments where it's not going to be a bunch of people you know there. You see what I'm saying? Don't go do rejection therapy with your good girlfriends at the local watering hole that y'all normally go to. Right? You have to put yourself in an environment. It will be beneficial for you to put yourself in an environment where you don't know nobody. If you get rejected, oh well. Right? So Melba, you said, so you walked up to him and you said, don't I know you? I like that. You know what my favorite lines is? Because rejection, I don't like being rejected, but it's not a big deal to me at this point in my life. Right? Walk up and be like, just find something that to compliment. Hold on, let me read what Melba says. She says, he said no. And I said, pretend that you do. Oh my God, that's good. She said to him, listen, she said, don't I know you? And then he said, no. And she said, pretend that you do. I like that. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like to walk up and compliment a man. I'll walk up and compliment a man. I don't just find something to compliment him about. Right? I'll be like, oh my God. That tattoo is so beautiful. Oh my God, whose cologne is that? Is that you? You smell good. It's a conversation starter. Have I been rejected? Of course I've been rejected. I mean, is there oxygen in the air? Of course. People get rejected, right? Right? But my thing is this, maybe because I come from a sales background where rejection is just a part of the experience. Being in sales is probably one of the best things for me because it taught me that rejection is not something that stops you. When I wasn't actively selling day to day, I would look forward to rejection because the quicker you could reject me, the quicker I could get off of that call or in that meeting so I could move on to the next person. Because I didn't care who rejected me. I only cared who said yes. So if I knew I had 8 meetings that day, I got 8 meetings today, right? And 4 potential leads that I can call back. My thing is, I know I'm not going to get all of them to say yes. I know that. So my logic was, how can I get through this? How can I get to their no's as quickly as possible? Because the quicker I get to the no, the quicker I can go into the next person. And the quicker I can go to the next person, the quicker I can get to someone who's going to say yes. If out of those 12 people I had to talk to that day, if I was only going to get 3 yeses, I didn't want to waste my time on the no's. So my thing was, how can I quickly get there? You know? Your ego cannot be attached to, oh my God, he doesn't like me. He doesn't do this. You got to let that go. And I think one of the best ways to learn to do that is rejection therapy. And I'm going to throw another tip in there. Y'all ain't going to like this, but it works very well. Flirt with men you're not attracted to. Sometimes. Flirt with men you're not attracted to. When you walking down the street, when you out and about, when you wherever, and the man who you're not attracted to is staring at you, say something to him. Hi, good evening. What is that tattoo you have there? It is so, oh my goodness, can I see closer? Wow, what does it say? I can't make it out. Oh, it's in German? What does that mean in German? Are you German? Then how did you come up with a German tattoo? It's practice. And it builds your ego up because he's just going to be skinning and grinning like. And it builds your ego up. Girl, let me say this right now. Learn to flirt with just any and everybody. Flirt with any and everybody. If you think that they're attracted to you, flirt. If they looking in your way, flirt. Honey, I remember one time years ago I walked into a guy. He was staring at me. I was looking at him. He was staring at me. I was looking at him, and I was like, he is not going to come up to me. He's not going to come up to me. He's just staring. You know how you know what I mean? It's not going to come up. He's just staring. So I did the evaluation in my mind. I was like, oh, he probably married. I looked at his hand, a ring on it. I was like, well, maybe he's just not that into me. But I was like, he's looking at me. And then something hit me. I was like, girl, just walk up to that man. Practice. If he rejects you, that's just going to make you stronger. Every rejection makes you stronger. Every rejection makes you stronger. Every rejection makes you stronger. Somebody comment in the window. Write in the window. Write in the comments. Every rejection makes me stronger. Let me read what Melva says. She says, I tell women to do that. It doesn't cost anything. We would have never met. Men can be afraid of rejection too. I agree. Every rejection makes you stronger. Okay? So, my mindset is that. And so, this guy, he's staring at me. I'm staring at him. He's staring at me. I'm staring at him. So, I walk up to him, right? I do my little smiles. Okay? This is my smiles. Like I'm slightly squinting. And I walked up, and I was just like, what's your name? I talk slow. What's your name? I don't know what his name was. Mike. Let's say Mike. My name's Mike. He's not looking at me now. He's looking everywhere else. My name's Mike. So I leaned into it. Because anybody else, that push you away. Like, oh my God, he's looking away. He's not that into me. Lean into it. Not physically lean into it, but lean into the energy of it, you know? Now, Mike, you were staring at me for a good 5-10 minutes. Now that I'm over here, you looking everywhere else but at me. Why ain't you looking at me, Mike? What you mean? What you mean? What you mean I ain't looking at you? I wouldn't even stare at you like that for real, for real. What you mean? Mike, so now I'm a liar. You wasn't staring at me. That's what you telling me. If you wasn't staring at me, I can go back to where I came from. You want me to go back over there, Mike? Nah, you good right here. You good right here. Mm-hmm. Now, Mike, I know your name. You didn't ask my name yet. You don't want to know my name. Lean into it. Lean into the awkwardness. And people say, oh my God, MJ, you're so good at this. Because I've been rejected a lot. I learned how to be good at going after what I want because I've allowed myself to go after what I want so much that even when I was rejected, okay, I'm going to get rejected, move on. But the rejection stopped stinging after a while. And because the rejection stopped stinging after a while, once I got the rejection out of the way, the fear of rejection out of the way, then that allowed me to then focus my energy on refining my approach. Some of y'all say you don't know how to flirt because you haven't done the prerequisite yet, which is moving around rejection. You know what I'm saying? Working on and working through your fear of rejection. You don't need no therapist to work through your fear of rejection. If you want to, you can. I don't think you need one for that. They got many other purposes, but I don't think you need one for that. The way you get over a fear of rejection is the way you get over a fear of everything else. Doing it. It is like a science. If you do anything repeatedly, your fear of it will dissipate and go away. Right? If you do anything enough, your fear of it will go away and you will become better at it. You'll become skilled at it. He would say, MJ, how'd you learn to flirt? Through flirting and being rejected sometimes and through flirting and being accepted sometimes. Either way it goes, when I got rejected, you know I treated rejection like sales. When I first started out in the insurance industry, I remember I'd be on the phone with a client. Like I said, I know that day I had 5 clients. I remember this. This was rough. I remember I would have you got 5 clients today, right? And you ain't got no clients for the rest of the week, right? And rent is due next week. So whatever you close today is going to be what pays for rent next week. It was tough back then. It was really tough, right? And I would talk to a client and they wouldn't buy something. Rather than focusing on feeling rejected and I'm going to leave this industry, insurance ain't good, I don't like this, and I can't sell, and people don't. I would think to myself, what made that call not work? What did the client say that would indicate why they didn't want to buy? Where did I notice the client starting to disconnect? Where did I see their eyes start to zone out at? And what can I do next time to make it better? That was my whole thing. Every rejection had to be a lesson for me. Fuck my feelings. I didn't care about the feelings of, oh my God, my feelings hurt. My rent was due. I couldn't afford that. I had my little car. I used to my little Audi. I had this little Audi. God bless that car. I couldn't afford it. I used to have to hide it in different parts of the parking garage so that the repossession people couldn't find it on the months that I was behind. You see what I'm saying? Student loans was past due. I couldn't afford to focus on rejection. I had to focus on what was the reason why this didn't work out so the next time I can do it better. Took the same approach to dating. Same approach to everything else. Right? Don't think of rejection as a denial of your worth, your value, or your beauty. Think of rejection as maybe it's just not the right opportunity. Or maybe, right? Because sometimes we like to put on the other person, oh, I'm just too good for them. They don't see my worth. No. Maybe your approach was some shit. Maybe it was some shit. Right? So pay attention to it. How did I learn to look men in the eyes and flirt and talk slow and make them laugh and call out when they be on that bullshit, acting like they wasn't looking at you? No, Mike, why was you staring at me and you acting like you don't see me no more? I came all the way over here. Now you acting like I ain't even supposed to be here. Should I go back over there? Mike? You laughing, huh? You like the way I say your name? Mike. Mikey. Because I learned very early on through rejection that men really like humor. And they really like boldness. And they love, like Melba just said, look in their eyes and smile. They love that. Okay? And even if you're going to get rejected, they're going to reject you much lighter when you're very flattering. I learned that. I learned to apply it. Is my approach going to get everybody to say yes? No. No, it's not. But if someone does reject me, they're going to reject me with a smile. It's not going to hurt. You see where I'm going with that? My point to you is this. I want you to put yourself in more positions where you could possibly be rejected. Not that you want to be rejected. Not that you want to be rejected. But because we're here to take away the power of rejection. Rejection has no power when you become so accustomed to dealing with it that it no longer matters. Oh, I love what Leroy Church said. He says, flirt with life. I love that. Flirt with life. I just feel like this. When it comes to men, Melba highlighted this. Men are afraid of rejection too. So if they're afraid of rejection and you're afraid of rejection, you going to sit single waiting on the one man who ain't afraid of it? No. Sometimes you got to put your best foot forward. Believing in yourself and what you got. Right? Because here's my thing. I don't think I'm the best looking person on earth. I don't. You see what I'm saying? In our community, in the gay community, especially amongst black gays, they tend to, not just black gays, white gays too, they tend to love a masculine man, even if it's a fake presentation of masculinity. They love that. They eat it up. Right? I'm not that. So that shrinks down the number of men who, they can say I'm cute and cuddly, but the men who would find me attractive over some guy who put on display masculinity, no, I don't do that, right? So you got that, right? I'm very well known, right? You would think that attracts men. No, that's a deterrent for some men. It's not a comfortable situation for them to be with someone who's well known, right? Right. So you're shrinking the pool of men down, right? This isn't a sob story. I'm just giving you the reality. We all have things that shrink our dating pool down to a specific group of people, right? I'm okay with that. But knowing that, right? Knowing that I'm not going to be everyone's cat's meow. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Knowing that about myself and accepting that about myself, I also accepted that I will be rejected from time to time. I think it's unrealistic to walk through the earth thinking you won't be rejected. But what I also know to be true is that the same people who are rejecting you are also being rejected by other people as well, because they're not everyone's cup of tea. So within all this experience, what we all have in common is that we all have been rejected, and the vast majority of us fear it. So we've all been rejected, and we all fear it. Then how much more of a competitive advantage does it give you within the dating pool when you're willing to be the one to approach somebody else, not chase, but to approach someone else and make them feel validated, seen, and make them feel attractive? You would be surprised how many people become more attracted to you because of the fact that you made them feel attractive. Oh, this is especially true for men. Oh, honey, they eat it up. They eat it up. When you can make them feel good, honey, they love that. Who would you think they'd rather be with? A woman who's a 7 on a scale from 1 to 10. But she makes them feel incredible. She makes them feel good. She makes them feel valued. She makes them feel seen. She makes them feel attractive. Or to be with a woman who's a 9 on a scale from 1 to 10. She doesn't approach. She doesn't say anything to him, really. He's got to do all the work, and he's constantly fearing, will I be rejected? Who do you think he's going to give more attention to that night at a restaurant, at a bar, at a golf event, whatever it may be? He's going to give more attention to the woman who makes him feel good. You see what I'm saying? You have to lean into that. It's the same thing. It works the same thing for women. Make men feel good. Make them feel good. Flirt. All the time. I was in a restaurant earlier. It was kind of my fault. I will own this. Okay? It was a little bit of a language barrier. I couldn't understand what the guy was saying. And he was trying to explain something to me, and I was so over it because I just wanted to sit down. I just wanted to eat, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I want blah, blah, blah. I pull out my phone and I'm into the translator. Like, here, read it. He reads it. He was cute. I'm not looking, but he was cute. I can still point that out, right? He reads it. He looks at me, and I looked at him. He looks at me, and I looked at him. And I realized that I'm actually challenging him right in his job in front of all his coworkers. So he may push back on me and not give me the table that I wanted just because I'm challenging his masculinity right then and there. So what I choose to do instead, because I didn't want the man. He was attractive. I don't want the man. I then leaned in, leaned down. I said, me desculpe. Meaning, I'm sorry. Me desculpe. Tô muito estressado. I'm very stressed. And I went on and explained to him that my Portuguese is just not very good. And when I saw him, I got distracted by how handsome he is. And if he could, please just accommodate me with whatever table he feels is best for me. And I sat down in front of his coworkers. Girl gave me the table I wanted, the exact same damn table I wanted. Okay? Just like that. Girl, I don't care. Because I have enough experience with putting this good energy out there to know that 9 times out of 10, it's going to give me everything I want. I ain't worried about rejection. I'm more focused on getting what I want because closed mouths don't get fed. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. I'm sorry. I'm very stressed today. And it's not your fault. What was your name again? Leroy. Leroy. I'm so sorry. Can you forgive me, please? You can? Okay. What I was asking was, you see that table right there? It just would make my day if I could have that. Everything in my day went so wrong. And you could just make my day so much better. Leroy, can you please make my day better and let me have that table right there? You can. Thank you so much. Leroy's the best. He's the best. Y'all let everybody know that. He's the best. And I ate my chicken and shrimp tacos in peace at my favorite table. Girl, you can't get what you want until you learn to stop being afraid of rejection. And you won't stop being afraid of rejection. I'm serious. Until you put yourself in a position where you could be rejected. Y'all think y'all can get over rejection just through time and watching YouTube videos? Girl, no. You're not going to get over your fear of rejection until you put yourself in a position to be rejected. That's the remedy. The more you get rejected, the more rejection don't matter. Think about it. What does rejection truly do to you? Does it kill you? No. Does it knock one penny off of your paycheck? No. Does it take one day off of your life? No. The person that rejects you today, will you be thinking about them tomorrow morning? Probably not. Probably not. So what does rejection really matter in the grand scheme of things? What does rejection really matter? It literally does make you stronger. And it applies to business too. Girl, I don't care. I'm going to ask for what I want. I'm going to go after what I want. I'm going to market and sell. I'm going to market and sell. I'm going to market and sell. But what if they say no? I don't care. I'll go into the next person. 7 billion people on the face of the earth. You think I give a shit about one person saying no? If only 1 out of every 100 people, if only 1%, 1 out of every 100 people wanted what I had to offer, rather it was wanting me for a partner, rather it's wanting me to do business with, rather it's wanting me to buy insurance from, whatever it may be. If only 1% of the world wanted that, that's 70 million people. That's more people than is in the state of California. 70 million. I don't need everybody to say yes. Can you imagine if every man that you wanted you? Girl, you'd be overwhelmed. You wouldn't be able to make a choice. I think rejection is good because it limits your options. I feel bad. I really do. For women and men who are like hyper attractive. And everybody wants them. Everybody wants them. I'm going to tell you why I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them because if everybody wants you, then how do you decipher between those who want you and those who truly value you? If everybody wants you just based on based on the way you look, or based on what you have, how do you know who really, really values you versus who just wants you? How much time do these beautiful people waste in text message conversations and dates that go nowhere? Where all they're doing is giving that other person validation of knowing that they're talking to a beautiful person. You have some men and some women out here who will text and text and text all day, every day, and go on dates with these beautiful people all day and every day, not because they truly want them or truly value them, but because they just want the validation of knowing that they could go out with them. Can you imagine how disappointing it is? To feel like the whole world is your oyster, to feel like everybody wants you when the truth of the matter is you have no way of knowing who truly wants you. I think rejection is one of the most beautiful things on earth because it literally does help sift through the muck and the mire, and it helps to narrow your playing field so that you can truly focus, because we only have but so much energy. So you can focus your energy on the ones who truly are open to you, the ones who don't reject you. And therefore, you can then be able to evaluate them much better to determine, are they a fit for dating? Are they a fit to be in business with? Are they a fit to be your client? People say, oh my God, I hate rejection. I don't want to be rejected anymore. That's like one of those weird genie requests. You know, you rub on the genie bottle. This isn't a genie, it's a bird, but picture it like a genie. You rub on it, genie, genie, genie. I don't ever want to be rejected. That's a curse. I think that's a curse. I think that's a curse. That's a curse. Sometimes rejection means wrong direction. Honey, let me tell you this. Y'all keep going after the same kind of man, right? And you get rejected. Sometimes what that means is saying, hey, you're going after the wrong type of man. If you're finding that your type don't want you, that's not a reflection on you. That's a reflection on the fact that you may be going after the wrong type of man. You see what I'm saying? Rejection is a guide. When I first started out in the life insurance industry, I used to do these big brunches. I had this group called the Good Guys. Big brunches. It was for black gay men, primarily in the DC metro area. That's where they primarily live. Wonderful group, educated black gay men, great jobs, great everything. And the intention wasn't to sell insurance. The intention was just to bring together a community. And so I tried to sell to them. Occasionally, I'd be like, hey, and if you need some insurance, let me know. Very few of them ever respond to me about insurance. Very few. Wonderful people. Very few. It was for a number of reasons. I later learned. At the time, it felt like rejection. But I later learned, well, a lot of them didn't seem to believe that they needed life insurance. These are single men, some of them homeowners, some of them not. So not thinking about leaving money behind, at least not at that point in time. We were all in our 20s, so they're young on top of that. Not thinking about children, marriage, and things like that at that time. Probably many of them have children and marriages now, but at that time that wasn't on their radar, so to speak, right? And so it wasn't the right audience. And I kept on wondering, why did they reject me? Why didn't they support me? You have this whole narrative that you create in your mind. My community doesn't support me. Why don't they support me? They support everybody else, but not me. Well, that's what a victim-minded person thinks in the face of rejection. An empowered person analyzes it and says, well, what do they have in common? What's going on here? And I quickly realized, well, these are young guys making good money, a lot of them for the first time in their life. So they probably don't have a lot of disposable income. We're all getting these luxury cars and luxury apartments. We were young. Got out of school a couple of years earlier, so we just spending. We didn't think about no life insurance. That's the first thing. Secondly, they didn't have children or families. I think life insurance is still good for you because there's benefits, so it can carry cash values and all that other stuff. I'm not giving a whole lesson on that today. But for them, it just wasn't their paradigm to be a priority. So once I locked into that, I started thinking to myself, well, who do I have access to that would see this as a priority? Who do I have access to that might see this as a priority? My mother hit me up. Hey, you do retirement plans? I said, yeah, I can do that with my insurance license. Okay, I got 2 girlfriends who they got this money that they need to roll over from their TSPs and their 401ks, like their workplace retirement plans. Can you help them? Oh, yeah, I'm sure I can. I'll help them. Yeah, these your friends, I'll help, no problem. Y'all schedule them in, no problem. These women come in the office. These ain't the 27, 25, 35-year-old gay men. These are women securely and snugly in their 50s and 60s coming in there. They got their file folders with all their information. How you doing? This is my paperwork for what I have in my account. And I wanted to get some insurance too and some long-term care because I want to make sure that if anything happens to me in my retirement years, I'm good. No problem, man. Let me see your paperwork. Okay. You get them put through. Easy to work with. They benefited because they got protection and coverage. They got retirement plans in place. I got my commission. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was happy. Then a light bulb went off in my mind. If this group is coming to me, they're coming to me. And this group, I got to chase. Not that they're bad people, but they just don't see the value in what I offer at this point in time. Why am I focusing on chasing them rather than focusing on meeting these people where they're meeting me? At that point in time, I started producing something called the wealth class. I remember my first one. I rent out a little office for the day, called in Beautiful Male Masseuse. Had a wonderful brunch set up. This is a woman, she had a business named DC Pudding. They have really good grits and a black woman had grits and grits and shrimp and grits. She had a wonderful catfish. Her food was so good, so good. Oh my God, so amazing. And I hosted the events. It was Women of Wealth Empowerment lunches. And they would come out. They had free massages, wonderful food. I give a little talk about the benefits of insurance and say, if you need my help, I'm over here in the corner. We're not going to do the insurance today. Just sign up for an appointment. We'll talk to you later. In the meantime, enjoy yourself. I would get so many clients from that. I got so many clients from that. I started doing those events. I started doing them over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I started connecting with women-owned businesses. I remember when somebody said to me, it was a man, of course. You just pandering to women. You just pandering to women. And when he said that, I realized I said, this is a man who ain't never owned a business. All he's ever done is clocked in and clocked out. And there's nothing wrong with that, but he can't understand my mindset. So I said, no, I'm not pandering to anybody. What I'm doing is I'm choosing the people who are choosing me. Because see, the reality is that not a lot of people choosing them. So I'm choosing them. And they choosing me. And the only way I would have figured out how to choose the ones who was choosing me, yes, we do disability insurance as well, darling. The only way I could figure out who to DM me, Donna, DM me. And the only way I could figure out how to choose the ones who were choosing me was through being rejected by the ones who weren't choosing me. Rejection was such an important part of building my business. I am so grateful to those men who didn't buy diddly squat from me. I'm so grateful. Because if it wasn't for that, I would not have realized an audience and a group of people who I could cherish and would cherish me. And it shaped everything I did. It shaped my content. If you've been watching me for years, you know my content really affects everybody, but I do give a strong emphasis towards speaking towards women. Why? Because that's who chooses me. I can't choose who come and watch my videos, but 92% of the people who choose me are women. Why wouldn't I do content for them? I'd be a fool not to. And then on top of it, I relate to them. I relate to y'all. We're going to do a lot of the same stuff. That's why when I talk, you're like, yeah, you right, MJ. Because we're going through the same stuff, sure. But had it not been for the rejection that I willingly exposed myself to, I would not have been able to be redirected to right here. And I'm so happy I got here. Did the rejection hurt? Yeah, but you know what feels better? Finding my place. Oh, finding my place. Hey, Sultan, finding my place. It's so snug and cozy here. The rejection felt like sitting on a pine cone. It didn't feel good. But when you find your place, you say, ooh, I'm home now. Ugh. I didn't know how good it would feel. And I would have never found it. So then you become grateful for the rejection. That's why I say, put yourself in a position to be rejected. Put yourself in a position. You said, am I answering questions about this topic? You had a question about this topic, and I may answer it if I see it. I'm not answering questions about nothing else. We're talking about one topic right now. Put yourself in a position where people can tell you no. You got your insurance license? I just don't like calling people up and they say no. You know what I started doing when I was in sales? And people would tell me, I don't know. I don't think about it. I'm just going to think about it, which is basically a form of rejection, right? I said, I learned, you know what? I ain't got nothing to lose. Why don't I lean into the rejection? So, I started doing, people would say, I want to think about it. I would say, well, ma'am, I know we scheduled a half hour for this call today. And it looks like we probably got about 10 minutes more. So if you don't mind, I'm not going to hold you this whole time. I'm just curious if you wouldn't mind answering my question. Would you mind? Oh, no, baby, go ahead. Well, when you say you want to think about it, typically what that means for folks is that there's a concern that they haven't voiced to me, such as maybe it's the price of the policy. Maybe they have a health concern they haven't voiced and they're afraid they may get rejected. It could be anything. So there's a concern that you haven't voiced. Well, on the other hand, there's something that I just didn't explain good enough. For you, which one is it? Well, with the price of it, you said it was $150 a month. And, I'm just thinking, I got some bills coming out and this, that, and the other going on and blah, 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 blah. Well, ma'am, let me ask you this. I'm just asking. You don't even have to answer me. If you could pick a price that is comfortable for you to pay every month, you tell me what that number would be. I don't know that we can have a policy at that number, but at the very least, if you tell me a number, that would be helpful. Let me know. What number do you think would be helpful for you? You said 150 doesn't work. What number does work? Well, I could do, I don't know, maybe 75 would be more comfortable. Okay, no problem, ma'am. Hold on a little fast. Give me 1 second. We got a couple minutes here. You said 75? Okay, hold on. Okay. Well, I got something right here. It's 65. And it's going to get you XYZ amount of coverage. You said you ain't got no coverage now, so let's get you some coverage. So those 3 kids can get taken care of if something happened to you. Is that number comfortable for you, ma'am? Yes, it is comfortable. Do you mind if we take 15 minutes to go ahead and get you put in for an application so we can at least get you something? And later on, when 150 is more comfortable for you, you call me up and we'll see if we can raise it up for you. That work for you? All right. When you're not afraid of rejection and you don't run from it, baby, you can lean into it and you never know. Sometimes you're not being rejected. What's being rejected is their own mindset and their assumptions. Right? And when you lean into it, you can kind of get through what's going on in their head. Walk over to a man. Hey, how you doing? What Melba say? Do you know me? Do I know you? He'd be like, no. Well, act like you do. I like that. He's like, well, hold on, why'd you come over here? I'm sorry, I'm just looking on it. I'm just trying to, Well, let me ask you a question. What's your name, baby? Your name is, what's your name? John. It's nice to meet you. I'm MJ. You ain't got to answer my question if you don't want to, but I'm just curious. When you was looking at me with those big, beautiful eyes, and I came over here and you started acting like you wasn't looking at me, why is going on? What's her name? You married? No, I ain't married. I'm just, I'm just kind of shy. Oh, that's what it is, huh? Mm-hmm. You lean into it. I tell people, I say, get your insurance license and start selling. It'll make you better at flirting. Girl, don't nothing scare me. Don't nothing scare me when it comes to rejection. Because I know that all rejection is just an opportunity for you to be redirected to something better, or an opportunity for you to have a deeper conversation with the person to find out about what's going through their head. And you're going to either get some information to redirect you on how to flirt better or how to go after what you want better, or you're going to get information that may open it over what you want. Okay? So anyway, y'all, I hope this is helpful. I'm going to put this video up on you know where, so y'all can watch it over there. But stop being afraid of rejection. You be all right. Actually, let me get the questions real fast before I go off. You said rejection is often a blessing, meaning they saw your worth and realized they couldn't afford you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or financially. I love that. Every time I match with a guy and we go on a date, then afterwards they try to put the moves on me. Oh, I'm not going to be able to go through that one. Yes. You said, how can I let him know what the boundaries are without being rude? He's a man, baby. That doesn't justify him putting the moves on you. My point is, you may be choosing men who are a little bit more in that mindset, or you may be on a dating app where that just may be more the flow there. But what I think is the key here is, what's wrong with just gently rejecting them? All he doing is just putting it out there. Hey, baby, hey. What's wrong with just saying, baby? You're so sexy, but baby, I prefer to wait. And leave it at that. And leave. All right. I read all the questions I can read about rejection. If you're interested in insurance, there's a link on my Instagram page. You can click to schedule an appointment. It's a link on my Instagram page. You can click that link to schedule an appointment. Right? So go ahead to that link. It's www.iwantlifeinsurance.com, or just click the link on my Instagram page. You can schedule an appointment there. Okay? Like I said, put yourself in a position to be rejected. Trust me, it'll work out better than you think. Bye.